Good morning, children. You are welcome to our lesson number 8, Beehive chapter. Name of the lesson is on killing a tree. And here we'll make a trip or a journey through this poem, and I hope that the journey will be very pleasant, and let us learn it through Eden English. Let us simply learn. So here we go. Let's start. So before starting off the poem, this is a kind of warm-up activities, my dear children. This is a kind of warm-up activity. So this actually begins, or this actually initiates some sort of a thinking in our mind. हम जब एक कविता पढ़ेंगे, पढ़ने से पहले यह हमको मतलब सोचने के लिए मजबूर करते हैं. हम पहले क्या करेंगे, हम बाहर की दुनिया देखेंगे, हम ऑब्जर्व करेंगे, हमारा जो प्रीवियस एक्सपीरियंस है वो प्रीवियस एक्सपीरियंस से हम कुछ चीज देखेंगे. व्हाट इज दैट? लेट अस कंटिन्यू. You must have observed people cutting down trees, but can they kill a tree? So this question, this sort of question, my dear children, is called the rhetorical question. क्या कहते हैं? Rhetorical question. Rhetorical question जो होता है वो question ना open ended type of question होता है. Open ended type of question. Open ended question होता है. मतलब उसका कभी कभी क्या होता है, वो ज्यादातर केसेस में you know the answer, you are supposed to know the answer, you know it from your own experience, and many times both of the options are correct. That means it may have the yes answer, it may also have the no answer here. So it is your observation, you have observed the cutting down of the tree and the kind of the feeling that evokes. What is the kind of the feeling? The feeling of dismay. The feeling of dismay means you are very, very unhappy to see the people cutting the tree for their own benefit. You become very disappointed because you know what will be the impact of it. But when you see that the particular tree is cut, is the process of killing the tree is over? No. So why it is not over? Because if it is uprooted completely from the crust or from the surface of the ground or the soil, from the crust or the surface of the soil, then only the process will be complete. The process of killing the tree will be complete. Otherwise, it will come to the former size. Is it clear, my dear children? Therefore, let's read the poem and find out what the poet says on killing a tree. So, if you are asked the question, what is the subject that the poet deals with, the subject is, he is talking on tree. And he is talking something about the tree, and what is that? The process of killing the tree. Process of killing the tree. What he tells, let us see and let us continue. It takes much time to kill a tree. So, my dear children, I suppose you have understood it. So, these are the model reading. So, I will be reading and you will be listening to it, and from there also we will understand the figure of speech. Therefore, let me start with the model reading first. So, this poem is having how many stanzas? There are 4 separate stanzas, but the stanzas are not uniform. Means one stanza varies in length with the other one. Therefore, here we go. Let's continue. Let's continue. It takes much time to kill a tree. Not a simple jab of the knife will do it. It has grown, slowly consuming the earth, rising out of it, feeding upon its crust, absorbing years of sunlight, air, water, and out of its leprous height, sprouting leaves. So hack and chop, but this alone won't do it. Not so much pain will do it. The bleeding bark will heal, and from close to the ground will rise curving twigs, miniature bulb, which, if unchecked, will expand again to former size. No, the root is to be pulled out of the anchoring earth. It is to be raw, tried and pulled out, snapped out. Or pulled out entirely out from the earth cave, and the strength of the tree exposed to the source of weight and weight, the most sensitive hidden for years inside the earth. Then the matter of scorching and choking in sun and air, browning, hardening, twisting, withering, and then it is done. Then it is done. So, my dear children, in order to tell this done, so many processes: twisting, browning, hardening, then jabbing, then cutting, uprooting, roping. All these verbs are used in the process of killing the tree. So, what is the internal meaning? Everything we will see. You will see that the glossary or the vocabulary. So, some of the vocabulary parts are written here, and you can see to that also. So, here you go for that. What are the vocabulary parts that are dealt with? So, number one is a jab. Jab means sudden rough blow. Leprous height means discolored bark. Hack means cut roughly by striking heavy blows. Anchoring earth means trees are held securely with the help of the roots in the earth. Snapped out means chopped out. Scorching and choking means drying up the tree after being uprooted. So let us see one question from the poem. Can a simple jab of the knife kill a tree? Why not? Means the hint of the answer is already given. So this is also a rhetorical question. Can a simple jab of the knife will kill? Yes or no? No. No is already given. Therefore, now we are giving to the negative answer. The answer is that a simple jab of the knife will not complete the process of killing the tree. Why not? You will explain. Therefore, from this question we can understand that this particular poem talks about what? Talks about the process of killing the tree. Therefore, my dear children, let us continue. We will go to the biography of the author or the poet. We will go to the introduction. We will go to the setting or the background. We will understand the line by line meaning of it. We will also see the literary devices or the poetic devices used here in the poem, so that we can enjoy the poem and we can understand better. Therefore, here we go. Let us continue. Now, it's time for our explanation. And in this visual you have seen, this is called the trunk of the tree. This is the branch. Okay, branch is called the bough, B-O-U-G-H, bough. And this person, this is the X. This is the X, and with the X, with the help of the X, he is going to murder, he is going to kill the tree, and he is posing as if the tree is really an enemy of the man. Therefore, let us continue. Here you go. Let's continue. So first we will be starting with the biography of the poet. When you understand the biography, means when you learn something about the poet, his attitude, his collection of the poem, then we can understand the poem better. Why? Because we understand the attitude of the poet on subjects, and here we will be talking about what? The subject will be the trees, and tree is the part of the forest, and this actually helps in balancing the environment. Therefore, here we will come to understand about the attitude of the poet on environment. So what is that? Let us continue. Here we go. Gift Patel, name of the poet is Gift Patel. Gift Patel was born in the year 1940. He is a famous Indian poet and playwright. Playwright means dramatist. Dramatist. He is a poet and a dramatist or playwright. Patel belongs to the group of writers who have subscribed themselves to the Green Movement. Green Movement, which is involved in an effort to protect environment. So my dear children, we have seen that. So that the poet who was born in Gujarat, he came to Maharashtra and settled himself as being a physician, and he joined in a particular movement. This movement is called the Green Movement. The sole motto or the main motto of this movement was to protect, safeguard the environment. From here we can understand that in this poem he will be talking in favor of the environment. His poems speaks of deep concern for nature and expose man's cruelty to it. From the poem of Gift Patel, we understand that he is having a lot of concern for nature, and he also exposes or expresses the cruelty of man towards our mother nature. Patel's work include poems which are published in the year 1966, which was launched by Niji Musical in 1966. How do you withstand body and mirroring? He has also written the 3 plays titled Princess Sabaska and Mr. Burman. He currently resides in Mumbai and practices medicine. He is also a painter, and as one of the contemporary Indian artists, he has been part of exhibition around the world. Therefore, let us continue now to the next part. Here we go. Let's continue. One writer rightly said, "In my childhood, the trees were green, and there were plenty to be seen. Trees were green, there was no pollution, and the growth was luxuriant. Therefore, they could be seen." And now, what is the reality now? Now, they could not be seen in plenty. Now, they are seen scarcely. Okay, they are seen scarcely, means hardly they are seen. Why? Because क्या कारण है? क्योंकि for industrialization and urbanization, people have spoiled the tree, therefore dispelled the tree, and therefore the number of the tree has become very less. And this actually shows the attitude of man toward the environment. Now first let us see the title of the poem. And after seeing the title, we'll go step by step in a very systematic manner in order to understand the poem beautifully. Here we go. Let's see the title of the poem. Here we move. The title of the poem. The title, On Killing a Tree. On killing a tree. So here I am writing on killing a tree. On killing a tree. So simply speaking, let us make the analysis. So here on means on the subject of. So killing, it is an act. So this verb is taking ing and therefore it is called the gerund form. Gerund is equal to noun. Therefore the poet is talking about what? The poet is talking about the subject of the killing of a tree. That means he is talking about the process of killing the tree. So you have understood the meaning of the title, and after understanding the meaning, now we will have to tell how the title, whether the title is apt. Okay, ये जो टाइटल है, ये कविता का जो टाइटल है, ये टाइटल सही है या गलत है? अगर सही है तो ये कैसे सही है? मीन्स यू विल हैव टू गिव योर लॉजिक, योर रीजन बिहाइंड द आंसर. तो आपका सिंपल रीजन क्या होगा कि सो सपोज दिस इज द पोएम. ओके, ये हमारा पोएम है. पोएम का ये मतलब स्टार्टिंग हुआ, ये स्टार्टिंग हुआ, ये मिडिल हुआ और ये एंड हुआ. जहां स्टार्ट होता है उधर ही एंड होता है. सो ये कविता में हम देखेंगे कि द पोएम स्टार्टेड विद द सब्जेक्ट ऑफ द किलिंग ऑफ द ट्री. In the middle also it tells about the process of killing. At the end also it talks about the killing of the tree. Therefore the title is very much appropriate. Let us see the answer part once again. The title On Killing a Tree indicates the ironical fate of the tree. Ironical fate. ये देखिए ये वर्ड है. This is coming from irony. Irony का जो हिंदी वर्ड है वो है व्यंग. सो irony is such a figure of speech or poetic device in which what is told is just the opposite is meant. So it is the ironical fate of the tree. ये जो ट्री है, ट्री का जो तकदीर है, लाख है, उसका आयरोनिकल पोजीशन दिखाया गया है. ए ट्री इज अ generous helper. Tree is a generous helper. But a man's selfish greed annihilates it. But man is very greedy, and because of this greedy nature, it try to root out, or it try to simply rush all the trees from the face of the earth. As a simple jabber chopping cannot kill a tree, cruel man uses number of cruel methods to kill a tree. So that the poet here is a very much ironical. कभी ऐसा बोलते हैं कि देखिए आदमी कैसा क्रूएल है, अनकाइंड है. वो क्या करते हैं, पेड़ पौधे को मतलब काटते हैं. काटने के बाद उधर ही वो खुश नहीं होते हैं, उसको क्या करते हैं, अपरूट करते हैं और किलिंग कंप्लीट कर देते हैं. So a tree is uprooted and snapped out of the earth, and then it is exposed to the sunlight for drying. Finally what it does, he exposed the tree. After uprooting it exposed the tree in the sunlight so that it can dries up, it can become hard, it can become pale in color, and then the tree is completely killed. The act of killing becomes complete when the tree becomes completely withered. Withered means dried. The poet treats the tree as a sensitive living organism. ये लाइन है, ये लाइन को एक बार देखिए. The poet treats the trees as sensitive living organism. Living organism क्या है? Suppose man. Man is a living organism. Okay? इसका क्या होता है? फीलिंग होता है, इमोशन होता है. और उसी तरह जब मतलब हम ट्री को मैन जैसे ट्रीट करेंगे तब हम उसको बोलते हैं पर्सनिफिकेशन. बच्चों समझ गया? पर्सोनिफिकेशन. ये लाइन हम देखेंगे, एक्सप्लेनेशन में देखेंगे कि हाउ डज द पोएट ट्रीट द ट्री, whether he has treated the tree as non-living thing or as a living, breathing human being. Everything we will understand. If he has treated the tree as human being with a flesh and blood which can feel and think, then it is the use of personification. He adds a human quality to them. Let us see. He adds a human quality to them to highlight their struggle for existence. Okay? The tree is given the human quality. When you are cutting, then the sap or the liquid comes out. That means it is a very sad. When the sap is coming out, a liquid is coming out when you are cutting the tree. It may be the eye drop. It may be the eye drop of the man. Therefore, the tree here is personified. Hence, both from thematic and symbolic point of view, the title is significant and justified. ये हर वर्ड को आपको देखना होगा. Hence, both from the thematic means as far as the theme is concerned, as far as the main idea is concerned, and as far as the symbol or the representation or the indirect meaning is concerned, the title is quite appropriate. Okay? So, बच्चों, when you are asked to give the significance or the aptness of the title, then ये सारे बात आप लिख सकते हैं. नहीं तो आप और सिंपल बोल सकते हैं कि indirectly it not only talks about the tree, it also talks about a tree as human being. It is having all sort of feeling and emotion. Therefore, it appeals or it requests a human being not to cut them, because if they cut them, they will be inviting their travel in the days to come. Okay, then let us continue. Here you move. Let's continue. So first let us see the introduction, and after the introduction we will be directly going to the poem and we will see the various layers of meaning, and then it will be very intelligible and also interesting. Therefore, let us go to the introduction of the poem. Here we move. The poem on killing a tree, so you can either underline or you can keep within double inverted or single inverted commas. The poem on killing a tree has been taken from Guy Patel's anthology named Poems. The poem is a graphic picture of man's cruelty towards the tree, which symbolizes nature. The poet gives a step-by-step instruction on to how to kill a tree and makes us realize that the killing a tree is akin to murdering human beings. It also refers to the destructive nature of a human and the indestructibility of nature. So, my dear children, so as you have come to understand till now, this poem is talking about the systematic way by which the tree is killed or can be killed. He also tells, he gives a present and wants to tell that nature is indestructible. Nature is indestructible means nature cannot be destroyed. human or man can be destroyed. The man who is a very cruel, today he is a cruel, but tomorrow he will be perished or completely destroyed by nature. But nature cannot be destroyed. You may cut one tree or two trees, but nature will persist or it will continue. समझ गए बच्चे? Let us continue. The part sensitive to the reader and highlight the fact that trees are living things. He equates the trees with a human to convey that trees should not be cut because destroying trees just like killing a human being. तो कवि ने अभी ये चीज जागृत किया, हमारा मन में ये चीज जागृत किया और ये पॉइंट पे मतलब थोड़ा जोड़ दिया कि द ट्री इज इक्वल टू ह्यूमन. इसके लिए हम क्या फिगर यूज किए थे? इसके लिए हम पर्सनिफिकेशन यूज किए थे. मीन्स tree is almost akin or similar to or like the human, therefore cutting the tree or felling the tree is almost equal to the killing of the man. Therefore the trees are not to be killed. A tree does not die merely by cutting, because it grows from where it cut. It has to be destroyed, then it is to be uprooted. If it is to be destroyed, then it is to be uprooted. So I suppose you understood it. Now let us go to the next part, I mean the explanation of the poem. So here we go, let us continue. My dear children, first we will see the simple meaning. I will be telling you the literal meaning or meaning from the dictionary, and whatever meaning is uncommon that you will see in the dictionary and you can refer to. You can go for the direct meaning, indirect meaning or the figurative meaning. Okay? तो पहले हम ये बात करते हैं when we are talking about the meaning. ये meaning जो है बच्चों दो तरीका का हो सकता है. एक जो है ना डायरेक्ट मीनिंग. क्या मीनिंग? डायरेक्ट मीनिंग. सो डायरेक्ट मीनिंग को हम और क्या बोलते हैं? उसको हम सरफेस मीनिंग बोलते हैं. सरफेस मीनिंग, सरफेस मीनिंग. और ये कहां मिलते हैं? दिस इज टू बी फाउंड इन द डिक्शनरी. दिस टू बी फाउंड इन द डिक्शनरी. एंड देयर इज द इनडायरेक्ट मीनिंग. इनडायरेक्ट मीनिंग, दिस मीनिंग इज टू बी फाउंड in the form of the image, in the form of the symbol, in the form of the irony, in the form of the personification, personification. ओके बच्चों? और हमारे लिटरेचर के लिए ये जो इनडायरेक्ट मीनिंग है इसका और एक वर्ड है, उसको मतलब क्या बोलते हैं? कोनोटेशन बोलते हैं. अब ये सारे वर्ड के साथ जब आपका फैमिलियरिटी हो जाएगा, आपका जब जान पहचान हो जाएगा, देन इट विल बी क्वाइट इंटरेस्टिंग टू लर्न द लिटरेचर. सो फर्स्ट वी आर गोइंग फॉर द डायरेक्ट मीनिंग, which is called the denotation. This meaning is to be found in the dictionary. So it is called the surface meaning. What strikes the eyes means what we see on the surface, means it is not in the deeper level. In the deeper level it is the indirect meaning or the connotation. It may be in the form of the image or representation. It may be in the form of symbol. It may be form of irony, personification, or other imageries. Therefore, let us continue. Here we go. Let us continue. It takes a much time to kill a tree. Not a simple jab of the knife will do it. It has grown slowly, consuming to the earth, rising out of it, feeding upon its crust, absorbing years of sunlight, air, water, and out of the leprous height sprouting leaves. पहले देखिए बच्चों, ये जो जितना हम वर्ड यूज किया है ट्री को रिप्रेजेंट करने के लिए, ट्री को डिस्क्राइब करने के लिए, ट्री को डिपिक्ट करने के लिए और ट्री का स्केच बनाने के लिए, जो जितना हम वर्ड यूज किया है वो एक पिक्चर बनाते हैं। वो पिक्चर को हम क्या बोलते हैं? इमेजरी बोलते हैं। क्या बोलते हैं? इमेजरी बोलते हैं। सो ये जो इमेजरी है, तो हम जैसे बोला था कि ये डायरेक्ट मीनिंग होगा, इनडायरेक्ट मीनिंग होगा। पहले हम देखते हैं कि सो व्हाट इज द पर्टिकुलर इमेज, ये कैसा टाइप ऑफ इमेज है। सो द पोएट इज द ऑब्जर्वर एंड पोएट हैज ऑब्जर्व्ड द किलिंग ऑफ द ट्री, सो ही हैज सीन दैट ह्यूमन बीइंग्स आर वेरी मच क्रूएल और ग्रीडी, and therefore he is now from his own observation he is telling it takes much time to kill a tree, not a simple jab of the knife will do it. Okay. इसमें बच्चों दो तरीका से हम ये बात कर सकते हैं। आप जब एक ट्री को आप जब मर्डर करेंगे और किल करेंगे और ट्री को कंप्लीटली मतलब क्या करेंगे? किल करेंगे, ये आसान प्रोसेस नहीं है। तो इसका मतलब है, कभी ने ये बोला है कि आदमी इतना क्रूएल है कि केवल काटिंग से ही वो मतलब क्या नहीं होता है, वो रुकता नहीं है, वो दूसरा प्रोसेस भी शुरू कर देते हैं। वो क्या करते हैं? फांसी काट, है ना, वो काट कर दिया। ये ट्री था, इसमें मतलब क्या किया? विद द हेल्प ऑफ द सॉ और विद द हेल्प ऑफ द एक्स ही हैज कट द ट्री. It has fallen down, but he is not happy with that. What he has done, he has chopped it to many pieces, and after that also he is not happy. What he does, he is now uprooting. Okay, he is now uprooting the root. So it is having the root and it is uprooted. And after uprooting, what it does, it tie the root. Okay, tie the root and then rope it and then dry it up in the sun, and in this way what happened? So after completely drying and hardening, so that the tree is killed completely by the cruel and greedy human being. So बच्चों ये देखिए, ये जो पहले का 3 लाइन्स है, कभी ने ये बोलना कोशिश किया। सो ऑन वन लेवल हम ऐसे सोच सकते हैं कि आदमी इतना क्रूएल है कि आदमी टेक ऑल द स्टेप इन ऑर्डर टू कंप्लीटली डिस्ट्रॉय और किल द ट्री। और दूसरा जो है, कभी बोलते हैं कि नो 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 नो, यू कैन नॉट किल द ट्री, उसके लिए आप बहुत मेहनत करना पड़ेगा। सो व्हेन यू आर कटिंग, देन इफ यू आर नॉट कटिंग इट वंस अगेन, इफ एनी काइंड ऑफ रियलाइजेशन, ये समझदारी आप में आ जाते हैं कि ये ट्री काटना ठीक नहीं है। इफ यू आर नॉट कटिंग इट फॉर द सेकंड टाइम, देन द सेम ट्री व्हिच वाज कट विल बी कमिंग बैक टू द फॉर्मर साइज और फॉर्मर शेप। दिस इज द मैसेज। ये जो पार्ट है बच्चों देखिए, इट हैज ग्रोन स्लोली कंज्यूमिंग द अर्थ। कंज्यूम का मतलब क्या है बच्चों? कंज्यूम का मतलब है ईट अप, है ना, माने खाना। ईट अप और DEVOUR, डिवोर, माने कंप्लीटली जो खाना, कंज्यूम करना। हम जो बोलते कंज्यूमर का मतलब क्या है? ग्राहक। हम बोलते हैं ना, जागो ग्राहक जागो, वही मतलब जो खाते हैं वही। सो इधर कौन कंज्यूमर है? इट इज द ट्री दैट कंज्यूम्स। व्हाट इट कंज्यूम्स? इट कंज्यूम्स एवरीथिंग। व्हाट आर दे? इट इज द वाटर, इट इज द मिनरल्स, और इट इज द एसेंशियल सैप्स और द लिक्विड्स दैट आर नीडेड फॉर द ग्रोथ एंड द डेवलपमेंट। और ये ट्री जो है इतना साल रहता है, बहुत साल रहता है ना। ओक एक ट्री है, वो एक वो बहुत साल रहते हैं। So in the similar manner, there are many kind of trees here on the surface of the earth, and after staying on the surface of the earth for long time, they become the canopy, है ना, they become canopy. So they become just like the portico and they become the source of the shade. And इसका साइज इतना ह्यूज होता है, इसका साइज इतना ह्यूज होता है, इतना इनोर्मस होता है कि, इतना इनोर्मस होता है कि इसको देखने में ना एक जायंट जैसा लगता है, जायंट डरालू लगता है. उसीलिए इन द आयरोनिकल मैनर द पोएट वांट टू टेल दैट यस, देखिए ये इतना मतलब ना जाइगेंटिक हो गया, इतना जायंट जैसा हो गया, डेविल जैसा हो गया, शैतान जैसा हो गया, तो इसको तो मरने का ही लायक है, इसको मार डालिए. लेकिन कवि ने जैसा जैसा बोला, उसका जो टोन है, बोलने का जो टोन है, दैट इज आयरोनिकल, दैट इज आयरोनिकल. वो असल में सही में वो नहीं बोला, वो जो बोला है उसका अपोजिट मीनिंग ही वो क्या है. Therefore, here we have seen that the poet gives the picture or the image of the tree, and that the tree is consuming the essential liquid or the mineral, and then it rises out of the ground and feeding upon the crust or the surface. Crust का मतलब क्या है? hard outer surface of the earth. Absorb का मतलब क्या है? Absorb का मतलब है also meaning eating or consume or consume. Years of sunlight, air and water. This air, water and sunlight, these are very essential in order to process their food in the form of the stars, okay, through the process of photosynthesis, that you know very well. That means with the help of the air, water and the sunlight, they complete the process of making the stars through the process of sunlight, and just by eating it for many years, it has grown to a huge or gigantic form. And therefore, my dear children, the poet ironically tells that it is to be killed or it is to be murdered. Now, the writer is very serious when he is telling that it is to be murdered. No, he is not serious. He is very much ironical. He is very much humorous. वो असल में दूसरा कुछ मीनिंग बोलना चाहते, वो बोलना चाहते अरे भैया इसको मत मरो, ये असल में डेविल नहीं है, ये आपका मतलब क्या है? दिस इज योर सेवियर, ये आपका त्राण करता है, ये आपको सेव करता है, ये आपको सेफगार्ड करता है. सो दिस इज योर प्रोटेक्टर, दिस इज योर सेवियर, दिस इज नॉट द डेविल टू बी डिवोर्ड और डिस्ट्रॉयड. Therefore, dear children, let us continue. The simple meaning once again. Let us see. A simple cart doesn't destroy the tree. A tree grows gradually. It is rooted in the soil. Okay, it is rooted in the soil. A plant takes nutrition from the soil to grow into the big form. Nutrition. The tree is firmly bound to the soil. It takes in sunlight, water and air to grow into a strong trunk and have numerous leaves, branches or bough. Then let us continue. I suppose you understood it better. Here we go. Let's continue. So this is the picture, my dear children. So the person is very angry. He has taken the axe. He is in the pose of killing. The tree you have seen, it is reclining. So therefore he is cutting on this side so that it will fall onto the other side. Now let us see the second stanza. In the second stanza the poet is. So the poet is once again instructing or commanding or suggesting the people So hack and chop, but this alone won't do it. So hack and chop means what you will have to do now? So you will have to hack now. You will have to hack now. You will have to give a blow, okay? Give a blow with sharp tool. Sharp tool. That is called hacking. Means it may also mean the cutting, and chop also means cut to pieces. Cut to pieces. So dear children, let us see this two line. After seeing, first let us see, if I am asking you the question, what type of sentence type क्या है? So what will be your answer, my dear children? What will be your answer? What type of sentence it is? It is an imperative sentence. Imperative. Imperative means what? In the imperative sentence, the first, what will come? The verb will come. Therefore, it will imply the order, appeal, or command or suggestion. So hack and chop. उसीलिए आप क्या करिए? काटिए और बहुत पीस करिए. काट के ना बहुत पीस करिए. You chop it. But this alone won't do it. In the first stanza, we are told that you will have to jab. ये जो वर्ड था, ये वर्ड नंबर 1 था. इन द प्रोसेस ऑफ किलिंग, ये पहले कदम था, ये पहले स्टेप था, जबिंग. वो मतलब क्या नहीं होगा? वो एनफ नहीं होगा, सफिशिएंट नहीं होगा इन ऑर्डर टू किल द ट्री, एंड देयरफॉर क्या करना होगा? आपको हैक करना होगा. इतने में भी काफी नहीं है. सो यू हैव टू गो फॉर चॉपिंग. देन ऑल्सो इट विल नॉट बी इनफ. Therefore, you will have to continue with another process. So, what is that? Let us continue. Let us see and continue. Not so much pain will do it. The bleeding bark will heal, and from close to the ground to rise curled green twigs. Miniature bow, which if unchecked will expand again to former size. So earlier we did the first, we did jab was the word number 1, and then what we did, then we hacked, HACK, hack, that is a verb number 2. We did not do, but the cruel people did it in order to kill the tree. First step was jabbing, then the second was hacking, and then third one was chopping. Chopping is the verb number 3 in the process of killing the tree. The point now is telling that not so much pain, इससे और अगला कदम, ओके, काटिंग का अगर इससे और कुछ तगड़ा वर्ड है, अगर वो कदम भी आप लेंगे, तब भी ये ट्री को आप कंप्लीटली डेमोलिश और डिस्ट्रॉय नहीं कर सकते हैं. क्योंकि रीजन क्या है? द ब्लीडिंग bark will heal, and from close to the ground will rise curled green bough. सपोज ये जो ट्री है, ये ट्री आप काट दिया. काटने के बाद मतलब क्या करेंगे? फ्रॉम द ब्लीडिंग bark, ये जो बार्क है, ये बार्क में मतलब क्या होगा? कुछ मतलब क्या होगा? SAP, सैप का मतलब है जूस का मतलब है कुछ लिक्विड निकालेगा. वो लिक्विड मतलब क्या है? वो गम है ना? वो गम है. A kind of gum is found in almost all the tree. Color varies, okay, from the white to the pale, different colors are there. ये क्या होता है कि bleeding bark from the bark, okay, this is the bark or the skin, from behind the bark, a kind of sap or liquid or gum will come out, and this will be just like the blood of human being, the blood of human being. क्योंकि हम देखा first stanza itself, the poet has personified the tree. ये जो tree है, ये simple tree नहीं है. This tree is personified, or the tree is given the quality of the human being. Therefore, the tree is the personification of man. जैसे कि man को क्या होता है? When there is some cut, the blood will come out. Bleeding is the verb form of blood. Means coming out of the blood. Therefore, let us see the simple meaning once again. So, if you are taking more difficult process of killing the tree also, then also you cannot completely destroy the tree, because from the bark which is bleeding, from the bark from where the sap or the gum is coming, from the bark, from below the bark, when the juice is coming out from that particular place, and from close to the ground, what will come out? The green twig. Twig means the branches. The branches will come out, and that will be curling colors. That will be curly. So they will be coming out, and they will be miniature. They will be miniature means they will be very small in size. They will be very small in size. And when it is unchecked, when you are not putting any kind of stuff or full stop to it, suppose that the human being begin to understand, a kind of realization come to the mind of the man that cutting of the tree is bad. If this sort of realization comes, this is well and good. If it doesn't come, then what will happen? So the process of the killing will continue. If it is unchecked, then it will be coming to the former size, or it will be coming to the former shape. Have you got it? Then let us continue. Let us continue with the next stanza. And before that, let us see the simple meaning of this stanza. Stanza number 2. Women cut and chop the bark of the tree into many pieces, but that is not sufficient to destroy the tree. The point of the tree which get cut gives out sap just like a human being bleeds. Gradually, this would heal. From there, new branches start growing again. Very beautiful. Now let us come to stanza number 3. Here we go. Let us continue. Now the stanza number 3. No, the root is to be pulled out of the anchoring earth. It is to be raw, tight, pulled out, snapped out, pulled out entirely, out from the earth cave. So when I am reading out, then what are the words that are repeated? One word that is repeated is out. Out is repeated many times, and when there is repetition, the purpose of the repetition is to give the force. Is to give the force or the stress. Here also, the poet gives the emphasis. What is the point of the emphasis? That in order to completely destroy the tree, what you will have to do? You will have to pull out. You will have to pull out the tree. Okay, from the anchoring earth. From the earth. From the particular portion of the earth where there is a cave size, where the color of it is very pale or brownish in color. So from there, what you will have to do, you will have to pull it out, and not only pulling out, you will have to you will have to sever it or you will have to separate it. You will have to separate it. Separate it. You will have to separate it. And then only you are completing the processing, the killing of the tree. And the strength of the tree exposed the source of weight and weight, the most sensitive hidden for years inside the earth. The source and the strength. We are talking about the source and the strength of the tree. So the source and the strength of the tree is what? The root. And where the root is planted? The root is planted inside the earth. And this is just like cave-like structure where it is planted, and this is the source, this is the energy, this is the strength. And when you are entirely pulling out and snapping out, when you are completely pulling it out, then its energy is exposed. And when you are putting it in the sun to dry up, and again when you are drying up, you are putting into the sun for days together. When it becomes hard, then the process of killing the tree is over. So here the anchoring earth means the trees are held securely with the help of the roots in the earth. So anchoring means holding tightly. Let us see the simple meaning of this particular stanza. The poet says that in order to kill the tree, it has to be uprooted. One has to separate the tree from the earth of which supports it. The root of the tree binds the tree with the soil in the pit of the earth. From there, the most sensitive and the hidden part of the tree, the roots have to be detached. The roots are white in color and are damp. Then let us go to the next part of the poem. Here we go. Let us continue. Then the matter scorching and choking in sun and air, browning, hardening, twisting, withering, and then it is done. So normally speaking, my dear children, when you hear this term or the expression is done, it is done, you are very happy. But in this case, when this is done or it is done, means this actually simple meaning of it is to complete the process. So what is the process we are talking about? The process is to completely kill the tree. Therefore, when it is done, it is very painful. And what are the process that involves? So we have already seen many verbs are used in order to complete this process. So here also we will get some of the other words like scorching, choking, browning, hardening, twisting, withering. So these are the verbs. Therefore, my dear children, so you now note down or take down to the assignment. The assignment will be write down the verbs that are used in the process of completely killing the tree. Then these words also, as you have discussed other words in the earlier stages, will have to be included in order to write the answer of this assignment. Therefore, scorching means what? Drying up. Choking means what? Because of drying up, the kind of suffocation will be there. Choking means feeling breathless. So when you are running fast, then after few minutes you feel like choking or you feel breathless. So such is the kind. So when the uprooted tree is kept in the sun, then it will not feel easy or it will not feel comfortable. It will be having the experience like the choking or breathless experience. Then when you are drying up and then choking, then the color will turn into the pale color, then it will be brown, and then finally it will harden. And then when you are twisting and withering, then it is done. That the process of the killing of the tree is over. Once the tree has been uprooted, then gradually it withers, it dries up with the action of the heat and wind. With the action of the heat and wind, the trunk will become brown, twist, and will harden. Finally, the tree will die in this way. So our poem is over. Now we will see some of the very important related terms. So for understanding the poem better, okay, so as you have seen the poem, the setting of the poem is, what is the setting? By setting we understand what? By setting we understand about the time and the place. So that the time here, so when we are talking about the time, we are talking about the industrial revolution, we are talking about the urbanization, and this urbanization and industrialization are the process of modernism. Okay, this is the process of modernism. Therefore, the background of the poem is modern world. The setting of the poem or the background of the poem is modern world. The world is facing rapid deforestation for urbanization and industrialization. The world where trees are being killed, either the setting of the poem. Therefore, let us proceed. So now we will be making the review of the poem. So we will be talking about the theme of the poem. The theme of the poem. What is the theme? The theme of the poem is, here the poet talks about the guilty nature of human being. The guilty and the greedy nature, particularly the greedy nature of a human being, is beautifully depicted in the poem. Then let us see what is the tone. What is the tone of the poem? What is the tone? Let us see the tone of the poem. The tone is like sarcastic tone, means it is ironical. है ना, ये वर्ड आप देख लेंगे. सो दिस इज कमिंग फ्रॉम आयरोनी, है ना. अनदर फॉर्म इज satire, and from there the word is satirical. Satirical means what? A particular picture is given, and the picture, through this picture, the poet wanted to rectify or change the society or the man, and therefore a very ironical picture is painted so that he can get the chance of correcting the people by ironical picture. Then let us continue. So some of the literary terms that we have already used, the literary terms or the devices that we have used are, there is image, there is enjambment. Enjambment means the run on line. There is the metaphor. Metaphor is very important. Let me explain this metaphor here, why this metaphor is used and how this metaphor is used. So let us see the line where this metaphor is used. So let me read out the part from the stanza number 1. Rising out of it, feeding upon its crust, absorbing years of sunlight, air, water, and out of its labyrinth height, sprouting leaves. So here in this part, you have seen that the tree is personified. How it is personified? It is personified as a human being. Human being will have what? Human being will have the sense of emotion and the feeling. When the tree is cut, then it bleed to death, or blood comes out and it dies. Similar to the case of the man. That means as if the tree is the human being. Therefore, the metaphor you see under the last part is leprous height. Height here means the skin or the bird. Leprous means the disfigured skin. Disfigured skin actually indirectly or impliedly refers to the disease of the skin of the human being. Have you got it? Therefore, if one term or one word stands for other, okay, there is similarity between it, and the similarity or the comparison is indirect, then there is the use of metaphor. Therefore, leprous height here refers to what? Not only it actually represents the skin disease of human being. There lies the metaphor of the poem. I suppose you understood it. And there is the alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of the consonant sound. And here the bleeding bird, the B sound is repeated. White and wait, W sound is repeated. Therefore, when there is the repetition of the consonant sound, is called the alliteration. When there is the vowel sound repetition, then it is called the assonance. So dear children, at last let us go to the question and answer. I'll be discussing only one question. Only one question I'll be discussing. How does a tree become strong? This is a very simple type of question. This is a textual type of question, the meaning of which we get simply on the surface. So this question also is the question of the social studies or the science too. Therefore, so what is it that makes the tree strong? Very simple question, literal meaning, and no implied or the indirect meaning is to be given here. A tree feeds on the earth's crust, consuming nutrients from the earth. The tree also absorbs years of sunlight, air, and water. This makes it strong. So let us see it once again. फीड्स का मतलब क्या है बच्चों? फीड्स का मतलब है खिलाना. ये ट्री फीड्स ऑन, मतलब ये फीड्स ऑन जब एक साथ होगा, इसका मीनिंग क्या होगा? लिव ऑन. लिव ऑन. ट्री मतलब किसके ऊपर मतलब लिव करते हैं? डिपेंडिंग ऑन द सरफेस ऑफ द अर्थ and rooted on the ground, rooted on the inner part of the ground or the cape of the ground, and consuming or eating the nutrients in the form of the sap, as you have discussed, the liquids or the juice, okay, liquids or the juice or the essential minerals that we have talked about. The tree feeds on them. It also feeds what? It also feeds the sunlight, air, and water. And through this process, what it does, it prepares its own food, and in this way they survive and also let the people survive on this face of earth. Therefore, the trees are a great benefactor of human being. They should be preserved. They should never be cut in order to satisfy the greed and the need of human. We have to find out some alternative source where in place of the trees we can use other source for satisfying our needs. My dear children, this is the end of the lesson. I hope you have understood the lesson well, and as homework you need to write the comprehension question or the extract based question. You need to write the hot question, means high order thinking skill question, and more specially need to practice the multiple choice question or MCQs. With this, let us conclude. Thanks to all. I'll meet you in the next video. Till then, have a good day and bye bye.